Hello and welcome to Prepspot. In this video, we are going to know about a topic that has become one of the most critical issues in international current affairs in 2025, Germany's federal elections, the rising anti-immigrant sentiment within the country, and the potential implications of these developments for India. This subject is not only of immense importance from a geopolitical standpoint but also offers valuable insights into domestic political dynamics, migration policies, and the interconnected nature of global economics and security. As you know, Germany, as Europe's largest economy and a leading member of the European Union, holds significant sway over regional policies and international relations. The upcoming elections, scheduled for autumn 2025, are widely regarded as a turning point that could redefine Germany's political landscape and its approach to immigration. Over the past few years, Germany has witnessed a marked increase in anti-immigrant rhetoric, which can be largely traced back to the events of 2015 when the country experienced a massive influx of refugees during the migration crisis. This crisis, which saw over 1 million refugees arriving in Europe, not only strained resources but also stirred deep-seated cultural and economic concerns among the native population. These concerns have been further amplified by the emergence of right-wing populist parties like the Alternative for Deutschland, AfD, which have capitalized on public fears and uncertainties about rapid demographic changes and globalization. Consequently, immigration has evolved into a highly contentious issue, with debates focusing on the challenges of integration, the preservation of national identity, and the economic implications of a diverse society. In the current political climate, the anti-immigrant sentiment is playing a central role in electoral campaigns. Major political parties, including the established centrist and left-wing groups, are grappling with how to address these issues without alienating a significant portion of the electorate. At the same time, right-wing parties are leveraging these sentiments to gain support by promising stricter immigration controls and more robust border security measures. This polarization is not confined solely to Germany. It resonates across Europe and has implications for global migration patterns and international trade. Given that Germany is a key partner for India in numerous areas including trade, technology, education, and cultural exchange, any significant shift in Germany's immigration policy could have far-reaching consequences for bilateral relations. Let's delve into some of the key concepts and terminologies that are central to understanding this issue. When we talk about anti-immigrant sentiment, we refer to the negative attitudes, policies, and actions that are directed against immigrants. This can manifest in political rhetoric, the formulation of restrictive immigration laws, and broader social polarization. In the context of Germany, this sentiment has grown in part due to concerns about the rapid demographic changes since the migration crisis of 2015. Furthermore, it has been exacerbated by economic challenges and cultural tensions that some citizens feel are intensified by large-scale immigration. The federal elections in Germany, known as the Bundestagswahl, operate under a mixed-member proportional representation system. This means that the final composition of the Bundestag is determined by both constituency votes and party list votes, which ensures a more representative outcome. However, the presence of an electoral threshold, currently set at 5%, means that smaller parties must secure a minimum share of the vote to gain representation. This system, while designed to promote proportionality, also means that any shift in voter sentiment on issues such as immigration can have a significant impact on the political balance. Looking at the figures and timelines, it is estimated that immigrants and their descendants currently make up about 25 to 30% of Germany's population, a significant demographic shift from previous decades. The 2015 migration crisis remains a key reference point in the ongoing debates. Over the years, various opinion polls have shown that parties with a strong anti-immigrant stance have gained traction, particularly in regions that have been most affected by demographic changes. With the elections set for late 2025, political analysts are closely watching these trends, noting that the outcome could result in either a more open, integration-focused policy or a more restrictive, nationalist approach. The data from recent polls indicates that support for anti-immigrant positions, particularly among right-wing parties, has been on the rise, with support levels for groups like the AfD fluctuating between 10% to 15% in various regions. These numbers underscore the growing polarization and the central role that immigration is playing in shaping public opinion. From a technical standpoint, it is important to understand that the political discourse surrounding this issue is not merely about numbers and percentages, it is also about the broader concepts of populism and nationalism. Populism, in this context, refers to political movements that seek to represent the common people against what they perceive as a corrupt or disconnected elite. Nationalism, on the other hand, emphasizes the interests and cultural identity of the nation, often at the expense of multiculturalism. Both of these ideologies have found fertile ground in Germany in recent years, driven by economic anxieties and a sense of cultural dislocation among segments of the population. It is this interplay of populism, nationalism, and economic concerns that has contributed to the surge in anti-immigrant sentiment, making it one of the most pivotal issues in the upcoming elections. The implications of these developments for India are multifaceted and significant. India, with its own large and dynamic diaspora in Germany, will likely be affected by any major shifts in Germany's immigration policies. If the German electorate opts for a government that favors stricter immigration controls, there could be tighter visa regulations and more challenging integration processes for Indian professionals, students, and researchers. Such changes would not only affect individual lives but could also have a broader impact on bilateral relations, trade, and cultural exchanges. Germany is one of India's key economic partners in Europe, and a shift towards more protectionist policies could have repercussions on investment flows, technology transfer, and even defense cooperation. Moreover, given the robust academic and research collaborations between Indian and German institutions, any policy changes could affect joint projects and academic exchanges, necessitating adjustments in how these partnerships are managed. In addition to the direct impacts on individuals and institutions, the rise in anti-immigrant sentiment in Germany also has strategic implications. A government that adopts a hardline stance on immigration might also pursue a more nationalist and protectionist economic policy, which could influence not only domestic policies but also Germany's stance in international forums such as the European Union and the G7. This, in turn, could alter the dynamics of global economic governance, affecting trade policies, regulatory frameworks, and international cooperation. For India, which is increasingly asserting itself on the global stage, these shifts could create both challenges and opportunities. On one hand, a more inward-looking Germany might be less receptive to multilateral trade agreements or reforms that favor open markets. On the other hand, it might also pave the way for India to forge stronger bilateral ties with other emerging economies that share similar concerns about globalization and immigration. Turning to the origins of this phenomenon, it is crucial to understand that the current anti-immigrant sentiment did not emerge overnight. It has been shaped by a series of events and policy decisions over the past decade. The 2015 migration crisis, which saw an unprecedented number of refugees entering Europe, played a central role in triggering widespread public debate. This crisis exposed the vulnerabilities in Europe's immigration and integration policies, leading to a backlash among segments of the population who felt that their cultural identity and economic security were under threat. Over time, these concerns have been amplified by political leaders and parties that have used anti-immigrant rhetoric to garner support. In Germany, this has resulted in a political environment where immigration has become a highly polarized issue, one that is central to the debates surrounding the 2025 federal elections. Key political figures in Germany, including the Chancellor or leading candidates from major political parties such as the CDU-CSU, SPD, Greens, FDP, and particularly the AfD, are expected to play pivotal roles in shaping the country's future policy on immigration. Their policy platforms and public statements are closely scrutinized by both domestic and international media. In parliamentary debates and campaign rallies, these leaders have stressed the need for stricter immigration controls, arguing that such measures are necessary to preserve social cohesion and protect national interests. This rhetoric, while resonating with a significant portion of the electorate, also raises concerns about the potential for increased polarization and social division. For competitive exam aspirants, this topic provides an excellent case study that spans multiple disciplines, including international relations, political science, economics, and cultural studies. It is important to be familiar with the technical details of Germany's electoral system, particularly the mixed-member proportional representation system and the role of the electoral threshold in determining the composition of the Bundestag. Additionally, understanding the definitions of key terms such as anti-immigrant sentiment, populism, and nationalism is crucial. Be prepared to discuss the figures involved, such as the estimated immigrant population of 25 to 30% and the polling data that reflects the rising support for anti-immigrant parties. Recognize that the timeline of events, from the 2015 migration crisis to the current election cycle, provides essential context for analyzing the evolution of public sentiment and political discourse in Germany. Moreover, the potential impact on India is an area that requires a nuanced understanding of bilateral relations and global economic trends. Germany's policies on immigration and integration not only affect its own domestic affairs but also have ripple effects on international cooperation and trade. As India continues to expand its economic and cultural ties with Europe, any significant shifts in Germany's political landscape will have implications for Indian businesses, educational institutions, and the large community of Indians residing in Germany. In this context, it is essential to be aware of both the macroeconomic factors at play and the specific policy changes that could influence bilateral relations. In conclusion, Germany's federal elections in 2025, coupled with the rising anti-immigrant sentiment, represent a critical juncture in both domestic and international politics. The evolving debate over immigration in Germany, driven by historical events like the 2015 migration crisis and amplified by populist and nationalist political forces, has significant implications for global geopolitics. For India, the outcomes of these elections could affect everything from trade and investment to academic and cultural exchanges. As competitive exam aspirants, you must understand the technical, historical, and strategic dimensions of this issue. This includes grasping the key terminologies, analyzing the numerical data and timelines, and recognizing the broader geopolitical implications. Such an understanding will not only prepare you for exam questions but also help you develop a well-rounded perspective on how domestic policies in one of the world's leading democracies can impact global relations. Thank you for joining me in this detailed discussion. I encourage you to further explore these interconnections, ask questions, and engage with the material critically as you prepare for your competitive exams. Stay informed and continue to analyze the global factors that shape our world, as these insights are invaluable for both academic success and an informed citizenship. Answer this question in comments. The correct answer will be given hot and pinned. Lastly, we just want to let you know that we are a newly emerging online platform for competitive exams. Creating educational explainer videos like these requires a lot of effort, money, and time. If you like these videos and want us to excel and create videos in all categories of competitive exams, then you can consider supporting us with a one-time donation through the Ko-fi platform and also by becoming a member through Patreon. This will help us create more such informative educational videos in the competitive exams space. So, one last time, subscribe and share this channel with all your friends who are preparing for competitive exams. And also, follow us on social media platforms. The links are given in the About section of the channel and also in the video description. So, see you in the next video.